Hey, welcome all. Are we
Welcome,
all
sir.
ready to begin?
Yeah,
Maybe you
sir.
can respond in the chat. Super. Um, I guess as we proceed, more people will join. We had a brief introduction about me. Primarily, I'm excited to see the energy of the UA leads, and I'm looking forward for more sessions wherein the experience that we have from the corporate world can be shared to the young generations and the youth. They can be benefited from the experience, and that will help them to scale and grow and plan their careers. So let's start. Let's start the session. For the next 1.5 hours. We will be discussing about how to win in adversities. Winning in adversities is very important, and in today's world, adversities will keep on coming. They will keep coming from all corners. So I have structured today's talk primarily into 8 points. We will begin with the executive summary, followed by contact details for those if you want to reach out to us for more details or any other questions that you have. Then we start the actual session in detail, wherein we introduce to the adversities, different type of adversities. We converge 6 type of adversities into 3, which are relevant to you all, and those will be what you face in your professional lives, what you face in health areas, as well as what you face in your personal life. Towards the end, the cream of the entire session is I will be sharing with you 7 tips for you all to enable you all to win in adversities. These 7 tips will be very useful for you throughout your life for you to succeed. In the end, I will summarize and share with you 6 points for you all to consider and I take it as a takeaway for enjoying and conquering and winning over adversities. So, with your permission, I start the session. As I mentioned, we begin with the executive summary. My dear friends, whether we like it or not, adversities is part of our lives. Problems, large and small, present themselves to us throughout our existence. We may be sharp, clever, or happy to go. We will still encounter struggle, challenges, difficulties, and sometimes heartbreaking moments. I often say to my audience, for the benefit for those who are listening me for the first time, I do a lot of international lectures, right? And what I speak about is grooming yourself, developing your personality, and also I spread awareness about organ donation and transplant opportunities for you all to give back to society. So in many of my lectures, I reach out to them and say that I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sail to always reach to my destination. That's a very important point which I want to take you all in the beginning of the lecture. That remember, you can't change the wind, but you can change the direction of the sail, which will enable you to reach your destination. Overcoming adversities is one of our main challenges in life. When we resolve to confront and overcome it, we become experts at dealing with it and consequently triumph over our day to day struggles. Learning to deal with and overcoming adversities is what builds character and resilience. Every challenge and every difficulty we successfully confront in our life serves to strengthen our will, confidence, and ability to conquer future obstacles. When you respond positively and constructively to your biggest challenges, qualities like strength, courage, character, perseverance emerge from deep inside you. Of course, since we all are humans, it is very easy to get caught up in self-pity, unfair. I'm unfair. World is unfair to me, and the unfairness of life, or why me, as a trap. When we do, we fail to recognize the opportunity for wisdom and growth that accompanies with adversity. As soon as we allow ourselves to think more clearly, we are able to ignore self-defeating, unproductive thoughts and get down to business of dealing with what's before us. My advice to you all is start by doing what's necessary, then do what is possible, and suddenly you will do what is impossible. In this lecture, I have classified adversities in three types: adversities in professional life, adversities in health, adversities in personal life. I have explained each type and given real life examples to guide and inspire my audience. Then I am giving 7 tips for winning in adversities. These 7 tips, if you all understand and implement religiously, you all will have a better chance of winning over adversities. Lastly, I am sharing 6 points to consider and remember. I end the executive summary by saying, success is not measured by position that one has reached in life, but it is measured by obstacles which one has overcome in life to reach the top. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door for the opportunity. Your big opportunity may be right in the adversities you are facing. With that, I share my contacts for you all to reach out to us for more details, and then we will begin with the lecture in detail. You can reach us via our email, via our phone, website, Facebook link, YouTube link, as well as LinkedIn. So this is for you all. I encourage you all to be in touch so that we can exchange knowledge and experience and progress in life. Let's look at the agenda. We are now entering into understanding different type of adversities. I want to extend 2 things with you. During the lecture, I will be asking questions. That's my practice. I request you all to use the chat box or raise your hand or voice to answer the questions one at a time. Correct answers will get special discounts on my bestseller books. I have put 2 books for you all, and these books will be helpful for you all to grow in your life. The first one is Life of a CXO. You all are now at the start of your career, and this is the right time to mold you. Life of CXO talks about the past, present, and future skills. It will help all those guys who want to be CEOs, CFOs, COOs, CIOs, CHROs, or CMSOs. For those guys who are not understanding the short forms, CEO stands for Chief Executive Officer, CFO is Chief Financial Officer, COO is Chief Operating Officer, CIO stands for Chief Information Officer, CHRO is Chief Human Resource Officer, and CMSO is Chief Marketing and Sales Officer. If you understand, these 6 form in today's world the C-suite, which means the boardroom is dominated by these 6 people along with the stakeholders. This book will help you to plan your career. This book will help you for you to know which skills to acquire, which competencies to acquire for you all to stay relevant in future. So this is one book. And the second book is a powerful framework, performance framework, which I have designed, Your Winning Formula. In Your Winning Formula, I have designed and shared a framework which you all can practice. This will help you to consistently win. It will help you to strengthen your weaknesses and further strengthen your strengths. To take benefit, be active in the lectures and answer my questions so that you can win discounts. These books are internationally sold, and I hope you all will take adequate benefit of these books. With that, let's begin with our topic, Introduction to Adversities. Now, I want everyone, right, mic to be open. Admin, I request you to open the mics. My question is, what is adversity? I would like to hear from you all. My request is, please be loud because some of your voices are very low. I can barely hear you. So the question is to you all, what is adversity?
Uncertain problems.
Anyone else? That's good.
Adversities are the problems that are faced by an individual or an organization which he does not take into account while starting his work.
Okay.
So those are the hidden costs. They may be hidden costs. They may be labor problem. Depends on the profession that you are in.
Okay. Anyone else?
Labor situation.
Remember, there are prizes. You will win some discounts. So let me proceed with it. Adversities, right, is a noun. It is associated with hardships, difficulties, dangers, misfortunes, a difficult or an unpleasant situation. I refer to various dictionaries just to give you a diverse view of a definition of adversity. A state or instance of serious or continued difficulty or misfortune. Some dictionaries say adversity is a difficult or unlucky situation or event. Adverse or unfavorable fortune or fate. A condition marked by misfortune, calamity, or distress. When circumstances or situation work against you, you face adversities. An interesting dictionary is saying a situation in which you have a lot of problems that seem to be caused by bad luck. My addition to this is, it's not always bad luck that brings adversities. Adversities is a part of life, and adversities will come from all corners in all different forms. Let's look at type of adversities. Broadly, adversities can be categorized into 6 types. Physical adversity, health-related adversity. Second, mental adversity. Third, emotional adversity. Social adversity. Spiritual adversity. And of course, financial adversity. So if you analyze different type of adversities, you can classify them broadly into these six areas. Please note, many a times, adversities are not singled out. They are a mix of these 6. So it could be a physical adversity resulting in financial adversity because a person is physically handicapped, or it could be a mental adversity resulting in emotional adversity. So it is always a mixed match. But the reality is adversities are real, and we better stand and accept them and learn how to fight against them and win against them. So having said these 6 adversities, the first one is physical adversity or health related adversity. This type of adversity can be big or small, starting from an illness at a crucial time to serious adversity resulting in physical disability, chronic health disorder, or terminal illness. I'm sure you all have experienced this. You want to go for an important meeting or there is an exam and suddenly you have jaundice and you can't go. That is a health related adversity, a physical adversity. You want to write the paper and your writing arm is fractured. How to deal with them? How to have a contingency plan? In the lecture, we will go through these and we will equip you with the ways, the skills, the tips for you all to win over adversity. The second one is mental adversity. This type of adversity can also be small or big, starting from mood swings, hyper or extreme reactions and actions, psychological disorders, depressions. Just like a physical handicap might limit you, so can a mental problem. This type of adversity can be having multiple frameworks. So, dealing with mental adversities is a bit complex. It needs introspection, it needs self will to overcome those, it needs discipline to overcome those adversity. And the first starting point is to understand your mental adversity, because many people, right, go into a denial mode. No, I don't have that problem. How can it be to me? I'm perfectly fine. I don't do knee-jerk reactions. The first phase is to accept that yes, you are going through a mental adversity, and the next step is how you can overcome that. We move to the third, which is very sensitive, emotional adversity. Most of us desperately need to learn how to have our feelings with letting them overcome us. Many times we are overridden by our feelings. Emotional maturity comes from experience and an effective state of mind. Those who don't have that maturity face more difficulties in life. I'm sure you all will agree. A very common, very human problem is for people to undervalue themselves. Those individuals need to learn how to improve their self-worth. Another emotion that can overwhelm us is rage, anger. And this is not taught in school, how to forgive, how to let go. Every emotion, no matter how fierce, can be tamed. Learn to tame through your resources available by keeping a watchful eye on them in case they flare up. Let your mind control your heart and not vice versa, because when your heart starts controlling your brain shuts off. So overcoming emotional adversity is a very important point. With that, we move to the fourth type of adversity, which is called as a social adversity. How we interact with people is paramount to our success. Life is awfully lonely without friends by your side. You can't get a promotion at work if your boss doesn't enjoy being around you. You can't enjoy your work if you are not gelled or socially in sync with your colleagues. That means that anyone who doesn't have certain social skills is a major disadvantage. People who are awkward face major hurdle, right, to succeed in either their personal or professional lives. Fifth one is spiritual adversity. Faith is some kind of a higher power, is generally an advantage in life. Dear friends, please remember that you need to master gradually spiritual, right, power to overcome spiritual adversity. That higher power doesn't even have to be a god. So for many people, it is a god by itself. People who believe strongly in human spirits, the power of community, or something equally important, will often attain a sense of peace that is lot of others can do. You will find some people are more successful, are more balanced in personality, and those guys have the art of overcoming spiritual adversity. Whereas on the other side, you will find the people who cannot combat with spiritual adversities are unstable people. Moving to the sixth one, the financial adversity, very common and easy to understand. One of the most obvious kind of adversity is when you don't have the money to afford a certain lifestyle. There is no quick way to go from rags to riches. But there are steps you can take to improve your financial well-being. My dear friends, at this stage, I would say that there is no substitute to hard work. A classic case, a classic formula to win over financial adversity is hard work and smart work. We all face adversities from time to time, but some of us are able to flourish when things are different, while others seem to struggle getting out of bed in the morning. I'm sure you all will agree. Successful people have found a way to jump hurdles and navigate around roadblocks that would stop other completely. I was distracted by a message sent by one of the attendant, but that's a part and parcel of life. How is it that some people can bounce back and find ways to overcome misfortunes and defeat? They don't allow themselves to become overwhelmed with negative emotions or thoughts. They take time to process what they have been through. Then they resume moving forward. Their mental composure lifts them up to seek opportunities instead of dwelling in despair. Taking into account attendance of this lecture, right, I am focusing on three types of adversities. One is professional adversity, second is health area, and third is adversities in personal life. At this stage, I would request the admin to open the microphones. I would like to ask my listeners, is there any question? Feel free to message it. Feel free to ask. Are there any questions so far? Uh, your voice is very low. I can't hear you. Maybe you can type. Okay, looks like there is no question, so we will proceed. So we will look into the next point, adversities in professional lives. If you see, adversities in professional lives are of two types, primarily for those who are doing jobs or those who are doing businesses. If you read papers, if you listen to news, you'll find job losses is a common thing in a slowdown or a lockdown which we are currently facing. Many companies are reducing their workforce, and people who are on contract labors have already lost their lives. They estimate millions of people losing their jobs, right, in this current situation. Second adversity is you might be working, but you are forced to work at a reduced salary, and your growth is now stagnant. You may also find stress, harassment at work. Adversity in business is dwindling profits, shrinking customers, business disruptions, issues like legal extortion and red tape. To explain these professional adversities, I'm giving you my real life stories. Hmm. Just bear with me. Okay. So I'm sharing a few real life stories, and these will explain you professional adversities which I have faced, and I'm sure you can connect in your life as well. I was working for a renowned management consulting firm called as the Boston Consulting Group. My career was growing. I faced with a medical adversity wherein I was right down with jaundice. I ensured that I recover very fast because I was eager to go back to work and contribute to to Boston Consulting Group because it was a prestige to work for BCG. While working in BCG, when I entered on the first day, wherein I was still weak and feeble because of jaundice, I still wanted to go and work. So on the first day when I went, the managing director came and he requested me for a meeting. I went to his office and we started a conversation. Initially, he asked me about my health and my well-being, and I comfortably told him that yes, I am recovering, but I want to work because I have the passion to perform. Slowly, he started saying, and he disclosed that Yatin, you can go home. I thought that he's saying out of courtesy. I said, no, sir, I am absolutely fine. I can work. There are a lot of pending things. He still insisted on the same thing. He said, Yatin, you can go home. And then I realized that there is something beyond what he's saying. And slowly he said, Yatin, now we don't need you. It was a shock to me because never in my career I had experienced something like this. In today's term, we call it as a pink slip. But I'm talking about an era about 20, 25 years back. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. And I come from a family background which was conservative, right? And believed in cultural values, lifetime one job scenario. So I was wondering how to go back to home, what to disclose. And I was getting paid handsomely in BCG. And with my experience of 3 to 4 years from after engineering, I didn't know any other place which can offer me 50,000 rupees 25 years back. Because that was a big amount at that time. Instead of sinking down, I took it in my stride and I rebounded. I said, okay, if I feel that India will have less options for me, why not look global? I adopted the blue ocean strategy. I acquired new skills which are in demand globally. And within a month, I had 3 offers from 3 different countries. It was one in UK, one in Japan, and one in Netherlands. Japan visa, was operated quickly, and I started from working for HSBC. The point which I'm trying to tell you is adversities will come suddenly and they will make you fall on the ground. You need to stand up, regroup yourself, have a counter winning strategy and act on it. And with that approach, you can easily overcome adversity like this. Second point which I'm saying is reskilling. You will find, and especially those guys who are working on technical matters, technical skill, because of the fast technology revolutions, are becoming obsolete very quickly. It's a constant learning process for people who are in engineering, technology, medicine field. You need to always upskill yourself. And if you upskill yourself, you will always ride beyond the adversities. You will win over the adversities. I'm sharing you my third real life story is while working in Business Standard. Business Standard is a renowned newspaper, is a financial newspaper run by something called as Anand Bazar Patrika, a group in the East, just like Times of India in the West. While I was managing the technology, the head of technology of the entire group, he approached me saying that you are excellent in technology, especially something called as Quark Express. Can you teach other departments Quark Express? At that time, Quark Express was a tool used by the newspaper editing people and the artists. So you might be familiar with something called as CorelDRAW, Photoshop, and Quark Express or PageMaker. These applications, these tools are used right in the in the print industry. So I said, okay, I accepted that challenge. After he went back to Delhi, I approached the head of arts, the director of arts. His name was Michael. Michael said, Yatin, तुझे पता है क्या तू किया है? He said, do you know what you have accepted? I said, no. He said, you are going to teach my boss who has spent his life in working on Quark Express. Your experience in Quark Express is only for 2 years. His experience in Quark Express is for 15 years. I said, no problem. Let me take it in stride. I invested all my hours in the day and night. I had 3 days with me, and I ensured that whatever I acquire is the latest. So when I went to teach people in Quark Express, what I taught, what the new version had, and that was the wow factor. I didn't tell them what was historical because I knew they already know. So the uniqueness that I presented on the table, the value that I created on the table was to present something that is coming next. So when you want to overcome adversities in your professional life, you must always reskill yourself and you must prepare for the future. I acquired in my professional life skills like Novel Netware, Windows NT when they were coming, they were not yet in market. I was approached, can you do manage the networks in XP? Can you manage the networks in HP Unix? Can you manage in Sun Solaris? And I went on accepting the challenges. I was very naive to know parallelly, many my Japanese colleagues were getting laid off, and I was growing in my career because I was doing their work. So it was like one person doing the job of 5 people. But that is what you need to do to stay relevant and to grow very fast. I'm sharing my next experience, which was with Morgan Stanley. In Morgan Stanley, I was asked to take care of application development and support group across the Asia Pacific region. I was managing 5 countries. In that, I had to deal with different cultures. So the adversities were what is accepted in Singapore is not appreciated in Hong Kong. What is appreciated in India is not appreciated in Australia. And Japan had its own way of dealing. And these were the adversities were coming from different geographies. So for me, I had to learn their culture and the right way of doing business in different countries for me to be successful. The point which I'm making is in professional life, especially in today's life, where the world is shrinking, we must also know what sells in other geographies. What is the best practices to be ahead for be relevant and successful in other geographies. So you must go outside the comfort zone. With these real life stories, I move on to the next adversity, which is adversities in healthcare or a health area. Health problems are rampant. Family members having health problems, and it increases expenses, it disturbs homes and environments. The matters become worse when an earning member has a health problem. It results in earning loss, financial crisis, and disturbed home environment. While these health problems can be addressed, there are some health problems or adversities which can't, it creates a vacuum, which is deaths in family. But you should remember that life has to move on. In this, I'm sharing you few examples, my real life examples for you to understand how to win in health adversities. For those guys who are listening me for the first time, I would like to share that I am a 7-month-old baby. Yes, you heard it right. I am a 7-month-old baby. In the month of October 2019, I won the fight of certain death. Since 2016, I was diagnosed a rare disorder which is called as idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. And the word idiopathic means why it happens is not known. And because why it happens is not known, in the world there is no cure for this disorder. The moment you are diagnosed with this disorder, the doctor point blank tells you that only 2 to 4 years of life is remaining. So in my life, in 2016, I was diagnosed, as having pulmonary fibrosis of the type of idiopathic. When we got this news, it was a major blow to me and my family. We regrouped ourselves. We said 2 things. If whatever life we have remaining, we will enjoy it. We will take it in stride. And B, we will fight with this illness. We will explore alternatives. And in that process, we were optimistic that something will come which will sail us through, which will help us to win over this adversity. So we started our struggle. Please note, in this disorder, the lung starts deteriorating. It starts hardening. And as a result, the functioning of the lungs starts reducing. So you will find that the oxygen level, which is needed for all your cells in the body, it starts going down. For any healthy person, if you measure the SpO2, which is oxygen in the blood, it is above 95 on a scale from 0 to 100. All healthy people, SpO2 measures above 95. If it goes below 90, individual starts experiencing headache. If it goes below 80, there is a risk of organ failures. If it goes below 70, God bless you. Any levels below 70, there is a solid case of person going in coma and multiple organ failures. My friends, please note, for minimum 7 to 8 months, I have survived with drastic drips to below 50 levels. So how did I fight? How did I survive? How did I overcome this challenge? And people around me, right, realize that what I'm doing is because of my strong willpower and my resolve to fight the illness. There is another parameter, which is the CO2 levels in the blood. And as my final days were approaching, I'm talking of September of 2019, many people near me who had seen me before, who had seen me on the international stage, they had seen me a person who is 5 feet 10 inches, 89 kilos, muscular, right, chubby, fleshy. When they saw me in September 2019, they had seen me reduced to 49 kilos from 89 kilos, which means that I had no muscles with me. I had no flesh remaining. It was only a bone cage. And the medicines that I was taking, which were needed, which were the survival kit, had started eating my bones. In all these adversities, my CO2 levels, carbon dioxide levels in the blood started shooting above 140. Friends, please know, if the levels are above 80, it is abnormal. If it goes above 100, that means the person very likely goes in coma. I have survived for 3 days, levels above 140. Doctors, my transplant surgeons, right, were wary that they can't operate me under this scenario. Classic example, right, why I'm sharing these real life stories with you is I have overcome these adversities. And the success key for that, which I will be sharing with you, the 7 points which I mentioned to you. One of them is a strong willpower, positivity, and the attitude of I will never let it down. I will not be defeated. I will fight it. So my friends, what I'm trying to tell you is health problem will keep on coming, and some problem will make you fall on the floor, will disrupt you. But you need to build the energy, take all your resources and resolve, mental resolve, and overcome the adversities in the areas of health for you and your family members. With that, I move to the next adversity, which is adversities in personal life. Very sensitive area, and I am sure you all have experienced. I guess most of you are in the age group of 20 to 35, and you will find that personal adversities, right, you might be facing, may it be friends, may it be your, better halves, your partners, may it be your parents, may it be your kids. So personal adversities in personal life result in strain in family relations. A surprising fact which has surfaced out is this: 50 plus days of lockdown has resulted in many families filing for divorce. Parallelly, of course, there are success stories wherein families have bonded together and enjoying a better life because of this lockdown. So the gap is widening. And this gap is primarily because some people take it in stride and win over this adversity, while some people succumb to it and gloom and doom. So that is adversities in personal life, and that will keep on coming. So you need to take care of these three type of adversities and fight it out. For you to be successful, I'm giving you 7 tips for winning in adversities. I would encourage people to write down these for those guys who are serious for growth and for self development. But before I begin the 7 tips, I just wanted to know, right, if there are any questions. So I would request the administrator to open the mics, and people can use their chats or mics for me to, ask any questions if they have. Over to you all. If there are no questions, somebody can just type there are no questions and I can proceed. Are there any questions? One question is, how do you find time to reskill yourself? Very good question, and I will answer that. My friend, please note, all of us have 24 hours in a day. So you need, if need be, you need to work backwards, and you need to at times burn the midnight oil. I remember many times when I have to deliver something, I forget about day or night, and I just take it and work reverse. That, say for example, I need to do this in 3 days, so I break down those 3 days into small milestones, and I start accomplishing those milestones, and that is how I make sure that I reskill myself. I learn and I deliver. For example, for I have to do this presentation, so I have to do this lecture, and I had a deadline that I had to do it in 3 days. So I started right working backwards, and I started skilling myself to make the presentation in a professional manner, right? And that is how, right, a classic example for you to reskill yourself. Please note, you can also refer for professional lives. You can refer my 2 books, which tell you which skills you should learn, which will tell you, right, what you should do to stay relevant in the future. I mentioned some time back the Life of CXO book will help you to, if you aspire to be a CFO in your future life, or you aspire to be a CIO, or you aspire to be a CEO, what skills you need to acquire now for you to grow in life. And these designations, these success milestones will come to you naturally. Another question is, what skills should I train in during Corona? Corona is just a virus, group of viruses. COVID-19 is the current virus that we are facing. And the proper question would be, what skills should I do, right, in this lockdown? So it depends upon, my answer is, it depends upon what profession you are into. But very clearly, irrespective of whatever profession you are, there are certain skills that you must master. I say you must master to become relevant in future life. One is, you must have expertise in dealing with expressing yourself, delivering yourself from the remote end. What I mean is, all these communication, collaboration tools, you must be well conversant with. That is one skill which you all should acquire. Second skill for looking into mind, taking into account the future is, you all need to be digitally savvy. You all need to learn how to massage data, how to play with data. So data analytics, data mining, and the future jobs, whichever profession you are, the data will start talking to you as you play with data. And the different dots, you will be in a position to connect meaningful stories. And the future is for those people who tell stories in that profession, who take dots and predict the future. So the third competency that I'm telling you, the third skill which I'm telling you is, please be data savvy. Learn to play with data. You can use any tools for data mining, data warehousing, right, or database management. and learn those. When I'm using this term, I'm giving you further examples. It need not be technical, meaning it need not be just IT. Say, for example, if you are in medicine field, learn to understand and interpret statistical data of patients, what parameters to capture, right? And once you start playing with data, you will come to know the symptoms, and then you will start with your cognitive ability to understand that what can be expected, what can be predicted. There is a lot of research happening in developing cognitive abilities, and that is how the various chatbots or the help tool like Dr. Watson and all are playing. So the point is, the future is for those guys who can play with data, who can connect the dots and make meaningful stories. I'm with these three skills that I have told you. There are many more skills, but I will move to the next question, sir. How how you take updates of current market and upcoming technologies? I read a lot. I read a lot, and I make sure that I am updated to what is coming next. Second thing, I try out new things. Now it is impossible for one person to be master of everything. So I choose a particular vertical and I make sure that I am a master in that vertical. And parallelly, I do not ignore other streams and I become jack of others. Future world is for those people who are master of one and jack of the rest. You cannot survive if you are just master of one, because that skill may be obsolete in 2 to 3 or 5 years time frame. And hence you must be able to switch over. So the thing is, answer to that question is, I make sure that I read a lot. I make sure that I'm in good company, which is tech savvy, which is talking about the latest trends. I make sure that I'm constantly learning. And when I say learning, learning in all aspects, may it be lingual abilities, may it be technical abilities, may it be abilities in my professional life. But you have to learn. You can't be complacent. Many times what happens is, right, people who enter in the C-suite, meaning who enter in the board of directors level, they become complacent. And hence you find that those jobs vanish in 2 to 3 years time frame. For those people who keep on learning, stay relevant, and have a long tenure. So with these 3, 4 questions which I've answered, I move right to the 7 tips for winning in adversities. It's about 1 hour that we have spent so far, and I guess another 30 minutes we should wrap. So should we begin? Okay. So 7 tips. Number 1, and as I mentioned before, please make sure that you write. And in this section, I'm going to ask questions. So be fast to answer them and win the discounts for these 2 books. Tip number 1, be aware of and accept that adversity is inevitable in life. I often discuss this with my attendees of lectures and workshops. I tell them that how many of you have adversities in life? How many of you have trouble in life? How many of you have difficulties in life? And almost everyone raises their hand saying that they all are having adversities, they all are having problems, they all are having difficulties. Then I ask them, how many of you do not want any adversities or difficulties in life? And then again, everyone raises their hand saying that, yes, everyone doesn't want any adversities or difficulties in life. I plainly tell them that about a couple of kilometers away from this place, I know a place where there are many people who do not have any worries, who do not have any adversities, who have a peaceful life. And then I ask my audience, how many of you want to go to that place? Again, everyone raised their hand. And with a smile, I say that few kilometers away, there is a graveyard where there are many people sleeping in their graves and they don't have any adversities, they don't have any problems, they are peacefully lying there. The point which I'm making is adversities is a part of life. To avoid or resist, it will only make it persist. Everywhere you look in the world, there is unmistakable struggle. There are floods, tsunamis, wars, and calamities of all time. Even within your own circle of family and friends, there is death, loss, and tragedy. Although painful, although pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. So, what do you do? I repeat what I said. Although pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Embrace adversity as a chance for opportunity. Life is full of adversities and struggle. It's through difficult times that we learn the most important lessons in life and build resilience. Adversities often present opportunities we might otherwise miss. You remember what I told in the beginning? I said, if the opportunity doesn't knock your door, you create a door for the opportunity. You reach out to the opportunity. Be passionate and aggressive about it. Now is your choice to dig deep and face this obstacle head on. Hard times present you with the chance to change courses, reinvent yourself, or find an undiscovered bridge that will get you over this hurdle. Every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or a greater benefit. Remember what I'm saying. Every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. The true success to succeed is the ability to embrace adversity as a chance to change our lives and our situation. The first tip that I'm sharing is be aware and accept that adversity is inevitable in life. Embrace it. With that, I move to the second tip. Build your internal resource. When I say internal resource, I would just elaborate. Before adversity hits, work on cultivating emotional strength, courage, and discipline. When you make yourself aware that certain difficulties are inevitable, you can prepare yourself mentally for confronting adversities head on. You remember what I said? In 2016, me and my family were informed that I have a fatal illness and I had just 2 to 3 years life remaining. What did we do? We accepted it and we started preparing for it. We gathered our emotions, we gathered our strengths and courage, and were disciplined in our approach. So it would be no different than a warrior going to battle. He or she prepares himself physically and mentally for any possibility. He knows it could be ugly, daunting, and grueling, but he is equipped. So never face adversities point blank. Face them after preparing yourself, after regrouping yourself, after accepting them. Many times, when you are prepared for the worst never happens. Or if it happens, it is much less severe than you anticipated. Another invaluable inner resource is faith. Faith that everything will work out. Faith that there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And faith that this too shall pass. Everything in life has its place and purpose. My dear friends, faith is very important. I believed in God. I believed in the positive energy that I will see a dawn. I am not going to die at the age of 44. Lung transplants are a very rare scenario in India and globally. And the success rate of lung transplant is very low. Many people who have seen me and who have operated me, they make a wow expression and call me as an unstoppable fighter. Within 7 months, you are seeing me doing lectures, and I'm doing lectures physically, also traveling. But because of lockdown, we are doing this web session. And when I am physically present in front of you, I dance with you. I make sure that the energy is created. And people say, did you really undergo a lung transplant 7 months back? And the last lecture I did was in the first week of March. I went to Pune, wherein COVID had just started. And many people were saying, Yatin, you are the most vulnerable person. You will get infections. But we are not those people who will, bow down or who will, hide in fear. We said, let's take adequate precautions and let's go ahead. Let's honor our commitment. And when I went there, you will be surprised to know my fifth rib was broken. It was not yet joined and it was paining. But still, for 2 hours, me and my wife, we gave lectures and everyone applauded for our lectures. The point, what I'm telling you, is build your internal resources, regroup yourself, accept the adversity, and prepare for yourself. And have faith. I am prepared for the worst, but hope for the best. When you are preparing for the worst, always have a positive attitude. Being prepared means thinking through the worst case scenario and consider how you would react. What your plans or actions would be if a crisis hits. Running through potential disasters on a regular basis builds mental strength and flexibility to overcome mishaps or catastrophes in real life. It doesn't mean you should dwell on negative possibilities. As I mentioned, be positive. Don't allow negative energies to creep into you. But if the worst happens, having thought through how you will react will keep you from panicking and help you stay calm and rational. It won't feel so frightening because you won't be caught completely off guard. So that is the tip number 2. Build your internal resource. Take stock of all you have thought through thoroughly already. They say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Wise people always say that. The hardships and misfortunes you have been through can give you confidence that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. You have been in tough times before. I'm sure you all have. I gave you my examples. Your past experience can help you find your inner strength and resilience. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. It may even be necessary to encounter the defeat so that we can know who we are, so that we can see, oh, that happened, and I rose. I did get knocked down flat in front of the whole world, but I rose. I didn't run away. I rose right where I was knocked down. And then that's how you will get to know yourself. The point which I'm trying to tell you is adversities will come. They will knock you down, but you accept them gracefully. Don't allow them to bury you down. Rise, fight, and overcome them. With that, adversities are for a limited frame of mind, limited frame of time, and soon the dawn will come. Remember what I told you. You must have faith that after every tunnel, there is a light on the other side of the tunnel. So positivity helps you to win over adversities. Resilience and faith helps you to win over adversities. With that, we move to tip number 3. Prior to this was build your internal resource. Tip number 3 is build your external resource. Build a support system of family and friends. When the going gets tough, we all need encouragement and support. You can imagine past 3 years that me and my family have gone through. We knew there is a certain death, but we didn't allow fear to creep in. We all were working together as one solid team. We need someone to talk to, someone to help ease the burden. You would be surprised to discover how often a friend has had a similar experience and can help you, guide you through the difficult times. What we did was we connected with other patients and we understood from them what to expect, what would be the next day for me. And we started preparing, anticipating that is going to come. So we were geared. We knew how to survive in dipping oxygen levels where other people will go in coma, but you can survive. So we trained our body. We trained that yes, willpower is must and the fighting spirit is must. Yes, I will. Yes, I can is important. Even just knowing a friend is there with you can be most comforting. And that has helped me, right, to build over my external resources. Make peace with the situation. I accepted that I have this problem. I accepted that I had a job loss, but I overcome that. Now is not the time to blame others for what happened. Initially, when I got the news, a big question was in my mind. Why me? Why at the age of 44 I have to die for no problem? No mistake by me. Mopping around and feeling sorry for yourself will do no good and can actually sabotage your ability to come up with solutions and next steps forward. It's important that you consider what mistakes or missteps you might have made. We are not gods. We will make mistakes, but we have to understand and acknowledge what went wrong. Spend time processing what you could have done differently and take responsibility for your actions. Many times, when you give exams, you make blunders in the execution. But and you get dreaded about when the results are out. You don't want to look at the question paper again, but you are missing an opportunity to understand where you are making mistakes. You worked hard for 2 years. You have worked hard to accomplish your dreams, but when the time came, you faltered. So unless you understand what went wrong, how will you overcome that? You are bound to make the same mistakes, and hence build your external resource. Understand the situation, what went wrong, how can you do it better, accept the situation for what it is, and then move on. I love to say, sometimes when you innovate, you make mistakes. It's best to admit them quickly and get on with improving your other innovations. No innovation in one go becomes a success. Innovations, the success stories, are a series of attempts which results in a final success. So with that, we move ahead. Tip number 4, resilience. There are 7 tips just to remember you. Resilience, like any muscle, is built up gradually and exponentially with repeated exposures to obstacles. If you lack practice in confronting obstacles, as when you choose to avoid them, one traumatic event can take you down. You may be strong. I was strong. But if I would have succumbed with this news of I am going to die in 2 years, right, I would never have stood up and you would never have seen me. Refuse to give up. To overcome a crisis, you need to fully commit to find a way forward. You must approach the problem determined and motivated. This will create a mindset where you look at adversities as something to be overcome and solved, not passively accept. Sometimes dilemma and obstacles are a chance to create alternative paths, to dream bigger, to push forward and take even larger leaps. But whatever you do, you can't give up. I move to the tip number 5. Find your sense of humor. It is very important because in crisis, to keep your mental balance, you should crack a joke. You should take at the situation. You should remember Mr. Bean and the likes of Mr. Bean and have fun of that situation. It helps you to relax. They say laughter is the best medicine. It's your body's way of coping with stress, releasing tensions, and resetting your brain to be more positive. It might seem unthinkable to find anything funny when you are struggling from one of life's blows. But sometimes just stepping back and seeing the humor of situations can help lighten your mood and allow you to move forward. Finding your sense of humor when facing adversities is a healthy way to build resilience, no matter how bad your situation. We move to the next tip, tip number 6. Have a purpose, have a positive mindset, and believe in your capabilities. Have a purpose. When life gets tough, it helps to have crystal clear ideas of why you are doing what you are doing. If you have purpose and passion for your goal, you will be motivated to keep pushing through until you will successful right in your goals. Sometimes things happen beyond your control and that can knock the wind out of your sail. But if you are working on something meaningful to you, you will always find a way back to it. I told you a famous saying that I always use is that I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can change the direction of my sail to reach to my destination. So remember that saying. When something is important to you, you will be driven to continue pursuing your dreams. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. This is my favorite statement. I always say that passion to perform. Passion is energy. We at CIO levels get paid for our energy. We supply energy to the organization, to our teams, we guide them. So passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Keep a positive mindset. A healthy dose of optimism goes a long way when you are faced with a bad situation. It may seem clinching, but sometimes the darkest storm clouds really do have a silver lining. It turns out that developing a positive mindset is an important coping skill when dealing with adversity. It's true, you need to be realistic and see a situation clearly. But if you constantly frame everything in a negative way, you will only see the bad. Try cultivating positivity and refuse to let pessimistic voice and naysayers invade your mind. So that is the sixth tip that I am giving. And have a purpose, keep a positive mindset, and believe in your capabilities. Believe in your capabilities. People who rebound from adversities begin by believing they are capable of finding a way forward. If you feel hopeless or powerless, it's unlikely you will find a way to be successful. You have to have self confidence and a strong belief in your capabilities to overcome difficult times. You have to be open minded and willing to leverage your talent, know how, and ingenuity to overcome diversity. Adversities, sorry. All the adversities I had in my life, all my troubles and obstacles, have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. You all will be happy to know that it's now 7 months after my miraculous escape from death by a successful bilateral lung transplant. We have started YMC Organ Donation and Transplant Foundation. On every slide, you see that logo on the top right corner. And through this foundation, we are helping other patients to be lucky. We are helping end stage organ failure patients, and we are helping transplant patients because we saw in the last 4 years that lack of awareness is one of the major reason for the deaths in this area. However, you have to engage in some self-reflection. When and how did things go wrong? You need to look at yourself and have your reflection and understand where it went wrong, what went wrong, how did it go wrong. Take a hard look at your planning. Did you miss something key? Consider your preparations. Were you ready for the challenge ahead? Look at the execution. Many people plan very well, but they fail in execution. Did you put in consistent efforts? Focus on areas that are within your control and ask yourself, what more can you do next time? With every effort, I learn a lot. With every mistake and failure, not only mine, but of others around me, I learn what not to do. And that should be your motto of life. You should be hungry for learning. I summarize all these tips. I am living an example of winning over certain death, and medical professionals call me as an unstoppable fighter. My fight with IPF, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, explained earlier, is a role model for many terminally ill patients. How I survived with oxygen levels sp2 dropping below 50. Normally, these conditions lead to multiple organ failures and certain death. How I survived with CO2 levels above 140. Majority individuals go in coma when CO2 levels cross 100. How I could do 3 jobs parallelly when doctors had advised me to do one job, one part-time job in fact. All these things you will find because of determination, resilience, and persistent enabled great people to push past their adversities and prevail. If great people can do it, surely the rest of us can summon the strength and courage to do and overcome our adversities. With that, I move to the last thing, that is points to consider. And I had mentioned to you, I will give you 6 points to remember, which you need to embrace throughout your life and be successful in winning over adversities. I end this lecture with 6 points for you to consider. These will help you to win over adversities. Point 1. Difficult times in life help us appreciate when things are going smoothly. Isn't it? Difficult times in life help us appreciate when things are going smoothly. Look for learning opportunities in every adverse situation. Decide whether you will allow your experience to make or break you. Depending upon how you choose to perceive it, it could go either ways. If you decide to go down, you will go down. If you decide to come up, You will fight over the situation. So decide whether you will allow your experience to make or break you. Be prepared to accept the worst should it occur. When you have prepared yourself mentally for the worst, it rarely happens. And if it does, the impact is less because you are better equipped to handle it. So prepare for the worst, but be optimistic for the best. Fifth point is cultivate faith, courage, and resilience. The more of these qualities you possess, the lesser the impact of adversity you will face in your life. Remind yourself that adversity is a part of life. Accepting adversity helps you to overcome it. With that, in adversities, we have to make some choices and be disciplined to perceive them. To explain my point, you all will agree that we are currently going through crisis. Whole world is in crisis. It's downtime. We do utilize this downtime. How do we utilize this downtime? That will make a big difference. If we do not upskill, if we do not come out more knowledgeable, if we do not come out more healthier and fitter, then it is not because we lack time, but we lack self-discipline and we lack commitment. We must use this adversity productively so that you will get a head start the moment this crisis is over, and you would have easily won over all these adversities. The point which I'm trying to say is make the best use of yourself, the time that you have now. Learn new things, be healthier, be fit, invest your time in building relationships with your family members, with your partners, with your peers, juniors, and seniors. Adversities is inevitable, but difficulties or misfortune don't have to keep you from achieving your intended goals and finding the happiness you seek in business and in life. It's how you overcome these adversities can make all the difference. Every challenge we successfully conquer serves to strengthen not only our will, but our confidence and therefore our ability to confront future obstacles. So the next time you find yourself standing in front of a huge mountain that feels impossible to climb, whether it involves your job, partner, health, or business, refer to this lecture and help you find your way to win over adversity. God bless you. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much. I share my contact details again for you all to capture it down. And we end the lecture. Have a healthy time. Take care. Be safe.